Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ron from Ugritone, and today we've got a special day because we are going to explore the brand new Total Studio Drums. Alright, so what is Total Studio Drums? Well, it's a new sample set designed for home studio producers, songwriters, and pretty much anyone who just wants to have a set of realistic drums at their disposal at any given time. So typically, Ugritone is known for taking the metal route or the punk route or heavier music route whenever possible, but this time around we had a chance to work with something that was too good to pass, and the result is right there. It's Total Studio Drums. So this is a bit more, I would say, rock and pop, perhaps country, if you will, oriented drum sample library, and we're going to take a look and see what's inside this amazing sample pack. So as you can tell, the interface has a set of drums in a beautiful studio that is actually a 3D render based on a picture that Mikola sent us, and has a studio logo, so just so that everybody knows where you can get these beautiful drum sounds at, and that is Santa Studio in Warsaw, Poland. And I'm just going to play you a little clip to give you a rough idea what to expect. I am starting off with the Rocking the 90s preset that I made, and it sounds a little something like this. Alright, so very nice, very punchy. The kick has a lot of low end to it. I would use the word polished, but it doesn't sound robotic. So it's still very natural sounding drums. What kind of comes to mind for me, it's if you're a fan of the drum sound of bands like Stone Temple Pilots, perhaps 90s Metallica, you know, the Load and Reload era, and Rage Against the Machine, Bon Jovi, perhaps even Aerosmith, you know, stuff like that, or going to the country route, you know, Tim McGraw, Joe D. Messina, all those 90s, Faith Hill, you know, Kenny Chesney kind of type of that has that tight snappiness to it. Perhaps not this kit, but I will be taking you to the country town in a second. But what's included? So we've got a bunch of kicks here. We've got 4 different kicks. There's a whole bunch of snares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 snares. There's 2 sets of toms. So one of the set has clear heads, and the other set has coated heads. So they have a subtle difference, and I will be going through everything piece by piece. We also have 2 sets of cymbals. So there's the Paiste Big B 2002, which is perhaps it's got a bit more articulation, perhaps a bit more stick. And so if you're looking for more controlled cymbals, the Paistes would do. And then there's also the Zildjian AVEDIS vintage cymbals, which have a bit more wash, but also a bit more energy. So if you need to fill more space, those would be a good cymbals to go with. Cowbells, because everybody needs a cowbell. A beautiful sounding Sabian Holy China in there as well. And let's play that clip one more time, and then I'm just going to start swapping the kit parts to give you guys an idea. I'm not going to play the whole thing. You can hear a lot of room in the. All right. Let's start with the snares. Go through the snares. That was the Black Beauty 6.5. Let's try the Gretsch bell brass. That's tuned low, so it's got a bit more of that majestic low end thud to it. All right. A good snare for if you're doing slow country or pop, where the snare just needs to be rather low and kind of soft and round. I would go with that. Then there's the Gretsch bell brass that's tuned higher, and it sounds like this. So it's got a bit more explosion, a bit more smack in the. A very nice, powerful snare. Then there's also a Slingerland Vintage. Not exactly clear what the model is. Maybe a Radio King, maybe something else. Which is tuned a little higher, and it's got perhaps a little less ring to it, but as you can tell, it sort of needs this to be, or the beat to be, a little more busy. So it's not the greatest for mid-tempo or slow, but anything faster. Like, now we're talking. So Slingerland, it's good for faster stuff. It's also included in the preset Kind of Metal, because I thought it sounded pretty good in the metal context. Then we have another studio classic, the Ludwig Supraphonic, tuned fairly high. Not the pingiest snare, but sort of gives that good country. Yeah, you get the idea. Different kicks. There's a whole bunch of really cool stuff. Let's try the 26 Gretsch. You feel when you add a couple of inches in diameter into the drum. It's a Sonar Phonic 22, which has a bit more presence. So again, this kick would be good for when there's more hit. Yeah, like punk metal, I would start off with the Sonar Phonic kick. Just simply, it's got more click. It's a bit more. It's good for busier beats. All right, so I've switched the toms to the coated, and let's take a listen. There's probably a bit more. There's more overtones. More overtones, and not as much attack in them. Somebody who works for somebody who works for a drum head company can probably explain that better, but there's that. Let's switch the cymbals. So what you've heard so far has been the Paiste. Let's change that into the Zildjian. All right, so the same clip with the Zildjian cymbals. The ride definitely has more. It cuts through better. Yep, just a lot more mass to the cymbals. Perhaps a little less control. Why don't I show you what the thing sounds like, kind of like channeled by the groups. I've soloed the direct mics, so without overheads, room, hell, trash, or reverb, it sounds a little something like. Could work for someone. Now let's bring in the overhead. Actually, let's solo these. Very, very natural sounding, very nice. Let's bring in the room. And mind you, if you think that, say, like the ride cymbal is too loud in the room or something, you can adjust the levels. A very nice mid-focused room sound in there. Alright, let's bring in the hell mic. And this one actually has a pretty funny story. This is one of those periscope mics that's got a built-in compressor. And it sounds pretty insane on its own. Just like listen to that decay. Wow. And if you're wondering what that snare tail is, so if you like the extra ring on a snare, instead of doing some complicated side chaining, there you have it. So hell mic, it's essentially meant to glue the kit together. And then we got trash mic, which basically is just another room channel that has a little bit. It's not meant to sound nice on its own. But when you take it out, kind of lose some of that character. So these are kind of like the salt and pepper channels, hell mic and trash mic. That's pretty much what they're for. You know, without those two, sounds like drums. Sounds pretty good. Or if you just want to overpower your meal with salt and pepper, certainly doesn't sound bad. So you're not going to ruin your meal by turning those up. What is really cool about this is that it also comes with a custom IR file that Mikola made. Right now I've got the snare routed through it, so it's kind of like a extra. Turn all the way up without it. With the reverb. Without it. So it adds a subtle, I guess, some width and space into the snare, and you can route this to any of the kit pieces if you want to make like a general drum reverb bus. But that's basically Total Studio Drums. Once again, Mikola and Bartos did a brilliant job at Santa Studios recording these samples. They're available now at Ugritone.com. And hopefully you guys like this video. And if you want to check out the presets, we have a separate video for that. How these drums were made. There's a video for that. Or if you just want to get like an advertisement video for that, we've got one of those as well. And I'll be releasing more sound bites on this too in the future. And we also have some electronic drums coverage coming up regarding the Total Studio Drum. So hopefully you guys have found this drum set fitting for your needs so far. And I will be back with some more videos in the future. Take it easy, fellas.